Hey, what is up, everybody? Holy shit, it's been a while since I did my last rewrite. But here we are, we're back. Here we go, let's get into this. People still hate Last Jedi, right? Okay, cool. Before we go into it, I just kind of want to give my quick thoughts about the movie. I did a review when it came out, but I think my opinions have changed a little bit. So, I think the Luke and the Rey and the Kylo side of the story was fantastic. But the rest of it, the Poe storyline and the Finn storyline and Rose, that was all mediocre at best. I think the biggest problem with the movie was that it spent so much time just trying to subvert expectations. It never gave us anything that was like actually fulfilling. It never gave us anything to like grab onto. Overall, there's just some really like awesome stuff and then some really crappy stuff. And I think it kind of evens the movie out into just like, ugh. So we're gonna do this rewrite, even though it's almost been a year since the movie came out. But so overall, it's like some small things I want to change that I just get them out of the way first. I want to make General Hux just less of a joke overall. I want to make him a little bit more serious, a little bit more willing to be a good leader. Obviously, you can still have those moments of weakness because that fits with the story of the First Order that we want to tell. Pathetic is the best way to describe him. He was pushed around, thrown around like a joke. He was a quivering little idiot. So fix up Hux a little bit. I think Phasma should just be around more, just because she's such a cool character with such a cool design, and she gets kind of wasted in both of these movies, in Force Awakens and Last Jedi. And then just in general, fewer jokes. Like, maybe not fewer jokes, but jokes that don't last as long. I think just a couple beats of the joke, and then boom, you're done. And then another overall thing, oh my fucking god, there's no gravity in space. There's microgravity in space. You don't need to arc your shots. Jesus Christ. But yeah, let's just jump into it. The movie starts exactly the same. Poe's fighting off that dreadnought against Leia's orders, and they start bombing the crap out of it. So here's the big change I want to make to this scene. So Poe's fighting the dreadnought, and he flies directly in front of the cockpit. And so through the glass, he makes direct eye contact with a female general. And the general makes her way to an escape pod. So they destroy the dreadnought, Paige gets killed in the battle, and the Resistance escapes to hyperspace. So we cut to Ahch-To, where we're with Rey and Luke just after the events of The Force Awakens. Luke takes his father's lightsaber into his hands. At first he's shocked, then he's confused, and then he's angry. He turns to face the ocean, and he turns his back on Rey. And the memories of this weapon, they flow through him. All the pain, all the suffering, the needless violence that this caused. He closes his eyes, and he just throws it over the cliff. And it's not presented like a fucking joke. This does the same thing in terms of the plot and representing where Luke is at, but it doesn't disrespect the 40 years of legacy that came before it. And then after that, the rest of Luke and Rey's story is pretty much exactly the same. Except I do want to include a variety of that deleted scene. Luke tells Rey about like some raiders that are going to raid that village and how the old Jedi Order, they would just let the people die. It's another example of Luke being like the Jedi sucked. And I think we need a little bit more of that in this movie. So we go back to the Resistance. The First Order tracks them down through hyperspace and they land an attack on the convoy. A TIE fighter destroys the bridge with Leia inside. As the bridge explodes, we go into super slow motion. Then Leia holds out her hand, and then everything just stops. She looks to her left to see Akbar, and the other leaders get engulfed by the fireball. Being the only survivor, she slowly starts to drift toward the door. She opens the airlock, falls into the ship, and she passes out. And so with no other leaders, they call upon Vice Admiral Holdo. The door opens, and Poe sees that same First Order general from the beginning of the movie, except now she's wearing a Resistance uniform. Holdo explains that she was a spy for the First Order. She was meant to gather intel on the dreadnought before Poe blew it up, but Poe doesn't buy it. And this is the source of the conflict for that story. The Resistance thinks there must be a spy on board if the First Order can track them through hyperspace, and Poe suspects it's Holdo, so he doesn't trust her, and Holdo doesn't trust Poe because he ruined her mission on the dreadnought. Everything is the same for this side plot now. Because there is a serious source of conflict, it makes sense now. So Finn meets up with Rose, and they realize that there must be something that the First Order has that's tracking them. So Finn and Rose, who is a great hacker, decide they're going to sneak onto the First Order ship and deactivate the tracker. I chose Rose to be the hacker because, firstly, we cut out Canto Bight, because fuck Canto Bight, it's fucking boring. And I just think it in general keeps everything concise and clean. So the rest of the Finn and Rose story arc is them sneaking around the First Order, trying to get the tracker, avoiding Phasma and that scary fucking BB-9E droid. Yeah, so the rest of the movie goes pretty much as you would expect it. Rey, Luke, and Kylo do their thing. Poe does his thing. Finn and Rose do their new thing. Act 2 is just them doing all that, you know, their obstacles and all that shit. So I think I'm just gonna skip to Act 3 now, if that's cool with you. So we skip to Act 3, where Rose and Finn get captured by the First Order. They have guns to their heads. It looks like they're gonna get executed. And Rose looks up to Phasma and she's like, "Am I done here?" Rose stands up and is paid a cart full of credits. That's right, Rose is the fucking spy. Okay, maybe she's not a spy, but she's definitely a traitor. She blames the Resistance for the death of her sister, and she thinks that this war just needs to end. And no matter what side it is, she just wants it done, and she wants the violence to stop. I know this is probably going to be pretty controversial, especially with people who really like the Rose character, but I think it just makes the story as a whole a lot tighter, and just there's not as much extra fluff around it. Again, controversial. I think it's going to make that character a little bit more interesting, to me at least. So we're done with that. Now we go to the throne room. Oh boy, this scene, holy shit. This scene is going to go down as one of the best Star Wars scenes in history, which means I only have one really small change, but it bothers me a lot. Don't fucking cut to Kylo turning Anakin's lightsaber. That's like some Zootopia showing the blueberries 3 times level of hand-holding the audience. It absolutely ruins the experience and the surprise of Snoke's death. It turns it from, holy shit, Kylo just killed Snoke, I didn't expect that, to, oh, they did what they were telegraphing for the past 5 minutes. Cool. I can't believe they killed Snoke, though. The rest of the scene is fucking perfect, though. Back to Poe. Poe's story goes how it goes. Aldo lightspeeds the fuck out of the First Order shit, and that scene's fucking beautiful. The Resistance, they escape down the crate. Finn and Phasma fight, and we get that deleted scene where he calls her out for what she did on Starkiller Base. The stormtroopers start to turn on her, and she just fucking wastes them all. Finn and Phasma fight, and he blasts her into the fireball, where she'll definitely survive because she's way too cool to die. So everyone makes it down to crate, but they're followed by the First Order. Oh no! And there's that big weapon thing that's going to destroy the door, just like we saw, and they engage to go destroy it. Finn, finally done running from the fight, he decides he wants to sacrifice himself and save the Resistance. He charges full speed ahead toward the weapon, and just before he crashes into it, another ship slams into his, knocking his out of the way. It's Poe. Poe, hurt from the crash, tells Finn, that's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate, but saving the ones that we love. The weapon fires, destroying the door to the rebel base, and Poe kisses Finn. Cause you listen here, Disney and Lucasfilm and Rian Johnson, whoever the fuck else is listening. Poe and Finn are gay lovers, and you cannot take that away from me. Do you fucking hear me? They're so gay. They're so gay for each other. I swear to God. They're the gayest, and I love it. Yeah. So anyway, the rebel base is super fucked. There's no hope left. Everything's lost. Until out of the shadows, a figure emerges. Luke Skywalker is here to save the day. He walks out into the open, lightsaber in hand, standing down the First Order's army. Kylo sees his old master and orders,
I want every gun we have to fire on that man. Do it.
We needed a cliffhanger ending to make us give a shit about the next episode. There are very few successful sequels in a trilogy that I can think of that don't end on what I call an Empire ending. Look at The Dark Knight. Look at Back to the Future. Look at Star Wars. It's a basic 3-act structure. You end the second act at the character's lowest, only to have them rise in the next act. Also, this cuts the movie down to about 2 hours, which is way fucking better. Yeah, so I'm not really sure how to end this. I'll just say this. I think the movie has a lot of really good stuff, and it has a lot of stupid stuff, which, like I said, it balances it out to just, like, ugh. I think Disney made a big mistake giving Rian Johnson both writing and directing of this movie. I think one or the other would have been fine, but they pulled what DC pulled with Batman v Superman and Zack Snyder. They gave this guy the key to the car, and they just let him roll with it. This movie needed somebody to go, hey, that's not really necessary, or hey, that doesn't fit the character. And just in general, someone to say no to Rian Johnson, which is, ironically, the same problem that the prequels had. Oh shit, Solo came out too, didn't it? Fuck, okay. Well fuck it, let's just do it. Alright, cool. How would I fix Solo? Oh yeah, don't make the movie. I'm joking, but, like, I'm also serious. Nobody asked for this fucking movie. Point me to a single person who wanted a Han Solo origin movie where we learn how he got his name and how he got the Falcon and how the Falcon got that little hole in the front and how the little panels on the Falcon broke off and just all the little minor details about things. It's just unnecessary. And then not to mention that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are some of the best directors in Hollywood working right now, in my opinion. They were fired from the movie for making it too funny. The movie that we got was just so... nothing. Like, I didn't give a shit about anybody or anything or just Ugh. So how I would really rewrite it. If you really want to show us a young Han Solo with Alden Ehrenreich, don't make Solo. Make Kessel a Star Wars story. Or something along those lines. A heist movie in the vein of the new Fast and Furious movies. Extreme, action-packed, funny, stupid, ridiculous, and with young Han Solo as the driver kind of character. You can still show some of his origin stuff, like meeting Chewie and winning the Falcon, but it doesn't have to be the whole point of the movie. But yeah, anyway, movie's boring with no potential, so it doesn't really deserve a full rewrite video. And I'm knocking two birds with one stone right here. That about wraps up my Star Wars rewrite. Thanks for watching. If you have any other ideas about how The Last Jedi could have been fixed, let me know down in those comments. I appreciate the conversation that we've been having, and I hope we can continue it. Also, before you go, I just want to say thank you so fucking much for 200 subscribers. Like, that's insane. That is insane to me. I've never had 200 of anything. Yeah, so thank you all so much. Anyway, yeah, that about wraps it up. So if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, share it if you want to. Share it to all your friends who ended up liking The Last Jedi. And yeah, subscribe if you want to see stuff similar to this, though it may be a while given my track record. See ya. Thanks for watching.